Welcome to the show, Angel.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No problem at all. And this is my newer show, The Unlicensed Therapist, where we talk trauma. Where are you from?
I'm from Edmonton, Alberta.
Oh, okay, I love Edmonton. Well, I've never been there, but I'm a huge fan of the Oilers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I have two of their jerseys hung up in my room. A Wayne Gretzky one and a Connor McDavid one. Do
Uh,
you still live in Edmonton?
yeah.
Okay, so you haven't really left.
Yeah, I've been here my whole life.
Okay. Now, what was that like growing up?
Uh, Growing up was pretty rough. I live on like 118th, so like if you're from here, you know how rough 118th is, but yeah. And then home life pretty much, yeah, not the greatest.
Now, what does that mean by 118?
Like 118th Ave, it's pretty ghetto.
And you said your home life was pretty rough?
Yeah, growing up, it's like, I don't know if I want to get too much into it because me and my mom have made up and like we're in a much better place now, but I've been through a lot of physical and emotional abuse and sexual, not from anyone at home, but like cousins and just people I meet online.
How old are you now?
I'm 20.
Okay, so um you know 20 years old, this is happening in the early 2000s then,
Yeah, in like 2010s.
in like 2010s.
Yeah, I was born 04.
Okay. And you said you don't want to get too much into it?
Yeah, at least with home life. I can get into like other stuff, but home life and what was between me and my mom, I could talk about like between me and my dad, but like me and my mom are in a better place, and I just don't want her to like feel some type of way if I talk about it.
No, I understand. And you and your dad, you said you had a rough time?
Yeah, we're trying to like work on it. It's getting better.
Okay. And what was that like?
Oh, well, recent years he just tries to make it look like I'm the crazy one. Like he said that I'm a danger, and like I traumatize my siblings and shit when he starts the fights. Like if we get physical with each other, it's because he starts it. But
Do you
then
have
when told, he tells them that I started it, and he tries to make it look like I'm fucking insane.
and you how many brothers or sisters do you have?
I have a younger sister and a younger brother.
Okay, so you're the oldest of the three.
Yeah.
What are the age differences?
My sister is 17, my brother's 12.
Okay, so you a little bit of an age gap between you and your younger brother.
Yeah.
And your parents still together?
No. They're legally still married, but they're separated.
When did that happen?
Like a couple months ago, me and my sister sometimes kind of joke about we're like, well, we've been waiting for the divorce since the wedding day. So, yeah, they should not have gotten married. Like, nah.
Yeah, so all your siblings then are all from the same parents.
I have a different biological dad, but my brother and sister have the same dad, which is the dad I talk about. I've never met my bio dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was that like growing up? You always
Uh,
did you know that growing up, or were you told this is your dad and found out later?
uh, I mean, their dad, or like my dad, I guess you could say, it was there since I was like in the womb. So like I've always grown up with him, but I was never told that he was like my actual dad. But obviously when I got older, I was told that like I do have a different dad, but I never don't remember a time thinking or like really believing that he was until I was told.
When were you told?
I think maybe around maybe 10 or younger, around there, because I feel like I've always kind of known, but I was pretty young when they made that clear that he wasn't like my biological dad, because no one ever straight up said that like, yes, this is your dad. Like no one ever told me that.
And how that make you feel when you found that out?
I don't think I really ever cared too much, but then as I got older, sometimes they would get to me, especially with how my dad would treat me. I kind of felt like maybe the reason why he was the way he was towards me, and because it was only me and not my other siblings, there were times where I did believe, and still like till this day that I did believe that it was because I wasn't his biological kid, so he just found it easier to pick on me all the time.
That makes a lot of sense. So, like, a resentment would harbor because of not being, their actual dad.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of textbook. Um, when did you just start discovering drugs or alcohol? How old were you?
I was 15 or 16. I started doing coke. 16, that was the first like hard drug I did. I was like 16, right before 17.
How old were you when you started drinking?
Drinking, I was 15 or 16.
Oh, okay. So recently then.
Yeah, only like the last couple years, like 4-ish years, 4 or 5 years.
And what made you want to start drinking?
It's just around it, like high school parties, stuff like that.
But you like the effect it produced?
Yeah. Because I've never been drunk before. The first time I got drunk, I was like, oh, no shit, people get drunk.
Well, what happened then the first time you got drunk?
I remember I had a girlfriend, and I drank like a beer and some of my dad's whiskey that was in the freezer, and I like couldn't type right, and I was like, wow, this is awesome, and like all of that. But like, yeah, I remember I was like home alone, though. It wasn't at like a party. It was after that I started partying.
And how did you get introduced to cocaine at a young age?
I was friends with dealers because I smoked weed before then, and they were some of my weed dealers, and they also sold other stuff. So I'd party with them, and then like nobody ever peer pressured me into it, but I was just around it a lot. So one day at a party, I just decided, okay, yeah, here, I'll try it. And then that was how that started. It was like a month before I turned 17.
And how did you feel about coke?
Coke, it felt good, but I didn't have too much access to it because I didn't have really the money for it unless I was partying. So I'd only do it maybe once every 1 to 2 months. Like until I actually got addicted to it, I had to do it like 5 times. Remember when I was 17, so grade 12, it was maybe February or January of that year, so like 2022, that was when I actually got addicted to it.
And you were still in high school?
Yeah.
And were you working?
Uh,
You're like, when there you go.
I had like a job, but it was like escorting.
There you go.
Yeah.
You had you said you had a job?
Yeah, but it was escorting. Yeah, I did that from when 15, 16 was when I started, and then I don't know if I really want to continue it. So I went to detox a month ago to get off opiates and benzos. And then since then, I haven't really done it, but like right now, it's my only source of income, or I do online.
So you were 16 years old as an escort?
Yeah, I met my first pimp at 17.
How did you meet him?
Through a friend, but she wasn't an escort. She wanted to like sell for him, and then she brought me to meet him. But he was bad news, as you could imagine. So, thank God I left pretty early after that. I've only known him for maybe a month or two. And then I just ghosted him, and I didn't really leave the house for a bit because I was kind of scared of him. Because the first time I met him, he showed me all of his guns and his drugs. And like when I met him, he just got out of jail. He was in jail for 4 years for trafficking girls. So yeah, I was pretty lucky that I got to get out of that. And then I had a second pimp when I was 18 with my best friend. And he wasn't too like serious though. He just wanted to make money off of girls, so it's not like he was really as dangerous as the first one. Well, yeah, ever since then I just haven't tried to get involved with any pimps, so I'll just do it independently.
Now, you had said you went to detox. When were you when did you get into opiates?
I was 18, so maybe I was doing them for maybe a year and a half, 2 years, because I had this ex-boyfriend, so my last boyfriend. He has been doing them for like 6-ish years now, and he didn't want to get me into them, but I told him because like at 18 I was like really into coke, like I was deep into like my addictions. So I straight up told him, well, I'm gonna try it anyway, like all of you are doing oxy, so I want to do it too. But he was telling me no, so it's not his fault. But then he was like, well, if you're gonna do it anyway, I'd rather have you do it with me. So then the one day he let me try an oxy and I snorted it, and I just like fell in love with it.
Was it like a Roxy 30?
It wasn't 80, but he gave me a quarter of it. So I sniffed maybe like a 20, but like, yeah. Because he would do 80s, and then I worked up to where I would have to do like an 80 a day.
You guys had Oxy 80s up still up there?
Yeah.
They're banned in the United States.
Yeah, I think you can get them prescribed for like certain like pains, like surgeries or like cancers. Because he told me before we broke up, he had this coworker and his wife had like something wrong with her. I forget exactly what it was, but they prescribed her 80s.
That's a strong opiate.
Yeah.
And how many 80s were you doing a day?
I would have to do like at least one. Like it got to the point where I needed at least one a day. And sometimes I wouldn't even get high. Like it was that bad.
Yeah. No, I know that feeling. I was addicted to Roxy 30s. And I wouldn't even feel high. I would need to do enough just to like feel even again and be not be sick.
Yeah, it's kind of like with me with Coke, where it's like I don't even really get high off cocaine anymore. I just feel normal. Like, you know?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. You and you said benzos you need to get clean from?
I am currently clean off of them. I went to detox for that too because I was mixing my Xans and Perks and Oxys. So that was the cause of my last overdose. And the reason why I had to go to detox and get clean off of them was because my mom and my uncle found me on the couch pretty much dead. And she had to Narcan me. So when I woke up out of it, I went down to my room and she had to go to work. So when she comes home from work, she comes down to my room and she just starts bawling her eyes out, saying that she found me on the couch, not breathing, and I was in like a puddle of drool, and my body was cold, and like they couldn't wake me up.
It's a good thing she had Narcan on her.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always carry Narcan on me, so I always have it in my purse.
Yeah, it's smart. It's a smart thing to do. We have
Yeah,
I haven't touched opiates in 6.5 years. And my wife has never done opiates, but we keep Narcan in our apartment just in case. Like
yeah,
we never know if a neighbor might knock on our door and say that they need, you know what I mean?
yeah. It's like the first time I went out after detox. Obviously, I brought my Narcan with me because I'm still kind of in that scene where, like, if somebody ODs, I'll have it because nobody else really has it on them. I was always the one with it. And my mom saw it in my purse and she got real scared. She was like, why do you have that? Like, you shouldn't have that. Like, you're not on that anymore. Like, you're supposed to be sober. And I told her, like, it's not for me, though. Like, it's for other people, too. So, like, I always have it on me.
Now, when did you start doing benzos?
So, the first time I took a Xan was maybe when I was 18. But then, like, my Xandemic started in, like, May of this year. And I was taking them a lot. Like, I don't remember almost the entire summer in like September. because I was taking them a lot. Like I said, I was mixing my Xans and like my opiates a lot. And then yeah, since detox, because I went to detox October 2nd, got out on the 7th. Then since then, I haven't touched them.
Or you prescribe them?
No.
No. Yeah. What are they up there? Like $5 a bar?
Yeah, 5-6 bucks a bar.
Yeah, that's what they are here. I was prescribed Valium last year, and then I started snorting my Valium, and I've been clean from Valium, benzos, weed since April 1st.
Oh.
I quit everything. I quit opiates 6.5 years ago. I quit drinking 4.5 years ago. Actually, it'll be 5 years the end of February since I've had a drink. And I quit benzos and weed April 1st, and then I quit gambling July 13th. So, quitting a lot of things.
That's
Um,
rats.
yeah, and I wish I was your age when I was quitting stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you're at a good age where you can quit this shit before it gets too out of hand, because I wasn't even into my opiate addiction until I was 22, and I did opiates for 10 years.
Oh shit.
So like half your life I was doing opiates. you know. And I was paying $200 to $300 a day.
Yeah, they get expensive. Like one pill is like 80-100 bucks, and that's like every day. So like I was always broke because of it. Because it would take like as soon as I'd get paid, I'd pay for pills or a bag, and then I'd have no money.
You said we're a bag?
Yeah, like a cocaine or something.
Oh, a bag of coke. Okay. Yeah. What kind of jobs were you working besides escorting?
That's pretty much my main thing, or online sex work. And I had one job for 3 days, working at like a music festival. But then obviously the festival ended, so that's like the only actual job I've had.
Well, escorting is legal in Canada, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought. I had been told that by somebody else that was on my show, about escorting being legal, and you just can't traffic. If you're trafficking, that's when it becomes illegal.
yeah. It's
Um,
so because like you can legally escort, but it's also illegal to pay for services. So like, for example, let's say if a client wanted to pay, they could go to jail, but I won't. So it's kind of weird like that.
yeah. Well, it protects the girl,
Yeah,
which is good because it's a shady line of work,
yeah,
and it's also a dangerous line of work.
yeah. I've met a lot of not so great people, and I've been in situations where it's very unsafe. Which is also why I thought while in detox, do I even want to continue escorting? But I've done it a couple times since detox, but only maybe 4 or 5 times. Like it's not like how it was an everyday thing.
How long have you been out of detox for?
Almost a whole month. I got out on the 7th of October. And what day is it? Like November 5th or something?
It's the
So,
6th. Okay, so you've been out a month.
yeah.
And does it have anything to do? Do you think it ties into like your history of being like abused as a younger teenager?
Yeah, I would say after my first assault, I was 7. And after that, at a very young age, I just got very hypersexual. And I just thought that it was like in my own way, thinking that it was okay with what I was doing, like, especially when I started doing that. Like when I was 16, I would just like sometimes I'd even just like fuck for weed for fuck's sakes. It sounds real sad, But in my mind, I thought it was okay because I just thought, well, I want to have sex. Like, I didn't really think of it as like a transactional thing or having it be illegal. I just thought, well, I want to have sex and plus I get something out of it.
Yeah. And you were 15, you said, when you did that?
Yeah.
When you started doing that? When did you start smoking weed?
15.
Okay, so you smoked weed before you drank.
Yeah.
Okay. And when weed's legal in Canada,
Yeah, weed's legal in Canada.
do you have to be 21?
No, you have to be 18. Well, in Alberta's the only province that you have to be 18 to buy liquor, weed, anything like that. But in every other province, you have to be 19.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop you from being able to buy weed illegally when you're a teenager.
No. At least at the time, because actually, no, weed was legalized when I was in like junior high, I think, but people still sold it on the street. It just like because I was a minor, I couldn't go to a dispensary and just buy it. So like my plugs would just sell to minors.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Um, and when you say online sex work, you mean OnlyFans?
Yeah, or like Fansly, because I got banned on OnlyFans.
How do you get banned on OnlyFans?
Because in one of my videos, there was a plate with lines of coke on it, and they were like, no, that's not allowed, and they immediately banned me. So because they also have to have your ID when I tried making new accounts, I'm not allowed. So like forever, I'm just forever banned, which fucking sucks. Because I also lost $500 because I asked, well, can I at least have my money that was on hold on it? They're like, no. So I lost $500. I was like, fuck.
When that happened?
uh, in like April of this year.
Yeah, that's gotta suck. That you had $500 in there that you couldn't touch.
Yeah, actually, I was so upset. I was like, God damn it.
Were you doing the coke in the video?
No, it was just in like the background when I was like doing what I was doing in the video, and it was just like, on the table in the background there, but you could see it in view. I was like, oh, God fucking damn it.
And somebody reported it?
Yeah, or like the OnlyFans, like people, they were just like, that's not allowed. The video wasn't even up for that long, like less than 24 hours, and they were like, no. They flagged it, and they were like, no, you're done.
That's gotta suck.
Yeah.
And Fansly is like a knockoff of that?
Yeah.
Because I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, Fansly is like the second, I want to say, most popular besides OnlyFans, because a lot of people, like, if someone has an OnlyFans, they usually have like a Fansly as a backup. So I just joined that instead.
And how's that going for you?
It's going well, better than OnlyFans actually, because on OnlyFans I got to like the top 5 or 6%, but on Fansly I'm the top 4%. So it's going better, I suppose.
Okay. So it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel doing that over like escorting?
I like it a little bit better because one, it's safer and it's at home. Just it's not as fast money because like they have your money on hold. They hold it for a week, same with OnlyFans, and then they release it. Then you can request your payout, but then it still takes a couple days to go to your bank account. So it's not as fast as money as escorting, but it's definitely safer.
Yeah, it's because you don't know who you're meeting up with sometimes, right?
Yeah, and like I like to watch a lot of true crime on like YouTube and stuff, and like usually it's sex workers that are like the start out victims for certain people, or like just victims in general. So it's like, damn, I hope I'm not one of them. Like, fuck.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it's definitely something that it could be. You're absolutely right. It's a dangerous thing to be meeting with strangers.
Yeah,
But I'm sure you get a lot of repeat.
yeah. A lot of regulars because I do have like a work number, so they can contact me there because I don't give out my personal like number, obviously, because that would be a lot like extra unsafe. But like, yeah, I give them like a text now number they can like hit me up on, or like I like to work in hotels and stuff like that. So then, like, if they did try to like kill me or something, at least I'm at like a hotel where they could maybe get caught easier if they did get killed. But
Oh, I see. You only do want to do meetups if it's at a hotel.
I know I prefer hotels, but sometimes I will just meet up with them, even if I'm at home, like at like a car, or like go to their place. But I prefer working at hotels.
That makes sense. I can see why it's safer for you.
Yeah,
And you pay for the hotel?
yeah. Usually, me and my partner do, or like my work partner.
But your work partner is not a pimp.
No, she also works with me. So then that way, if something does happen, one of us usually hides in the bathroom, or like we're still in that same room, or like I said, we hide in the bathroom. So if we hear that something not okay is going on, we can come out and help.
Oh, I see. You kind of go on dates together.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. It's borderline trafficking each other though.
yeah, in a way, or like we'll do like duos together or something.
Okay. Yeah, because I had a girl in here from Sudbury, Ontario, and she ended up getting charged with trafficking fentanyl and trafficking women because her and her friend would drive each other to meet up with people as escorts. And when they were driving each other, the cops charged her with trafficking because she was supplying a ride to do meetups. So
Oh,
it's definitely like a gray line. I'll send you the episode of what we were talking about because just to like make sure you're not doing the same thing. This way, you can be safe about it
yeah,
because it's such a gray area. I feel like that kind of work to where, it's easily something could come from it. But I'm glad that, you at the same time seem to have, a good head on your shoulders when it comes to being protective of each other. And, like you said, you might not have to do it as much now because you're not, doing opiates or you're not doing Xanax. You don't need $100 a day.
yeah. Even with coke, like especially when I was doing opiates, I like stopped doing coke for a little bit because opiates is like my thing. Like that was like my main thing, you know?
Yeah. Are you still doing coke?
Yeah, but not as much as I used to. Like maybe a little bit more now because I had to get clean off it. But like I was clean off it for like two, like no, yeah, maybe like 2 weeks. So I was just drinking. I was trying to like fill that void of like substance use with drinking. But then I relapsed on coke about 2 weeks when I was out of detox because I was like, I can't do this. Like this is just hard.
Yeah, it's not easy to quit everything at once.
Yeah, and that's just I try to explain to some people because some people are like kind of rude about it. Like even on like the Facebook groups that I joined, or like I get messages where they're like, "Well, maybe people would be more supportive if you just quit everything, like just stop doing cocaine." And it's like I've done almost every single drug you could think of. I can't just quit all of them. Like, do you know how hard that is? Like, like good for you. You stopped doing the one or two you did, but I do more than one drug.
Yeah, that's why I have 4 different clean dates.
Well, exactly. That's why some people try to come for me and be like, "Well, you're not sober because yada yada yada. Like, you're still doing coke, or you're still doing that, or you're still drinking." And it's like, well, I'm still clean off meth. I'm still clean off oxy, and I'm still clean off Xans. So like, don't tell me I'm not sober when I am sober off meth, oxys, and Xans.
Do you want to be fully sober?
Yeah, one day. I just can't do that right now. I'm still
Yeah,
trying to get over that opiates and Xans, you know?
yeah, yeah. It's definitely tough to quit everything at once.
Yeah.
I still smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
I've been smoking cigarettes longer than you've been alive. You know what I mean? I've been smoking since I was 13 years old and I'm 38. So I've been smoking cigarettes for 25 years and it's still something that I struggle with. After we had the election last night and I smoked like a pack of cigarettes today. And it's just something that I haven't been able to let go of. And soon I'll have a fifth clean date and it'll be from cigarettes. And I chew nicotine gum all day long when I work. So I'm trying to quit. I'm trying to cut back, but I'm not going to be perfect at this.
Yeah.
And, you know,
That's
and
what I feel like. I don't know why some people have a hard time grasping that, because, like, it's not. Nobody's sobriety is gonna be fucking perfect. Like, as I know for a fact, if I were to try and quit everything all at once, I would relapse not even a week after. Like, I just know myself. Like, I know I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, I need to go at my own pace, and I don't know why some people can't grasp that people go at different paces. Like, if you can quit everything all at once, then, like, good for you. I applaud you. But, like, for me personally, I cannot do that right now.
yeah, do you have like an end goal of like for me, I want to quit smoking cigarettes by the time I'm 40. Do you have like a plan of like, okay, I want to quit this, then I want to quit this, then?
Yeah, definitely by the time I have kids. Like, if not, then by the time I'm 30, in my 30s, I want to be clean. But then if before that, then, like, when I have kids, I don't want to be an addict. Because I want to give, like, when I become a mom, that's, like, my biggest goal in life is to be a mother. I want to give my kids the best life that they can have. And I can't give them the best life that they can have if I am an addict.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's definitely not something that's easy to do, but at least you're starting out younger with, the harder stuff like opiates. You know, I would try to kick cocaine next.
Yeah, that is next on the list, is cocaine. I just don't know when. I don't know when yet, but hopefully by the time I'm like 22, I'm gonna give myself some time. So, like, 22, because 22, 23 was the age anyway that I wanted to start being clean anyway. So, like, 22, I do want to start putting in, like, real effort. If
Did you have to go through like bad withdrawals from Xanax?
I'm medicated with Valium, or was medicated with Valium to get off Xans, and then I got my new prescriptions, are back on some of my old ones that I stopped taking because I chose drugs over my prescriptions. So I got those and then some new ones to help me.
Okay, like which prescriptions did you stop taking because of drugs?
My antipsychotics, so Abilify, and my antidepressants. And then I got new ones for anxiety to kick away, like, the Xanax. So yeah, I got my antipsychotics, anxiety meds, and antidepressants.
Yeah, the other thing is if you quit drinking, you have to be careful, like Xanax. If you're drinking a lot, then you have to worry about detoxing from alcohol.
Yeah, that's another thing I thought too, because my best friend, when she was 16, 17, she was a really bad, like, alcoholic, where if she didn't drink every single day, she would have, like, seizures. Like, she had deadly withdrawals. Like, it was really bad. And she always tells me that she hopes I don't get to that point. Like, even if you say or joke, like, I made this joke where I was like, yeah, watch, next time I go to detox, it's gonna be for alcohol because I'm just gonna become an alcoholic. And she was like, nah, like, you don't want to be an alcoholic. Like, don't say that.
Yeah, it's rough. It's the most dangerous thing to come off of.
Yeah.
Like opiates suck the most. Like I've come off a lot of drugs in my day, and opiates definitely was the worst, like body feeling.
Yeah.
but you can literally die from alcohol withdrawals.
Yeah.
Um, did they put you on any kind of like medically assisted treatment for the opiates,
Yeah.
like Suboxone?
Yeah. I was on Suboxone and detox.
And you still taking it?
No, they didn't give me any to go home with because they ran out of the supply. So they just gave me the prescriptions I have now.
Well, I actually think that that's good because in the United States they give you a shitload of Suboxone, and then you end up being addicted to the Suboxone,
uh,
and you end up having to go to rehab for Suboxone to get off Suboxone.
oh, that's shitty. I didn't know you could get addicted to Suboxone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can get addicted to Suboxone for sure. Um, it's it's just as hard coming off of Suboxone as it is opiates.
Oh
The
shit.
same withdrawals.
Oh,
Like
kind of like with Valium then, because they gave me Valium to get off Sands, but you can get addicted to Valium.
Yep. No, I was addicted to Valium. What is it? This time last year, I was addicted to. It was Ativan that I was abusing, and then after I got done abusing Ativan, I convinced my psychiatrist to give me Valium, and then I started, abusing my Valium. So, it's definitely something that you can get addicted to because then I found myself snorting Valium.
Oh,
And because I was addicted to snorting drugs.
yeah.
And it sounds like so were you.
Yeah, it's like with me right now, it's like sometimes I feel like, especially when I wasn't really doing coke, I feel like I'm just addicted to snorting things, or I'm addicted to just taking pills. Like I bought melatonin to try and help me sleep, because that's what obviously oxys would help with. They'd help with coke come downs and like just putting me to bed. But like now, I just find myself taking like 10 pills of melatonin just because I can't stop taking pills.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I became addicted to snorting anything.
Yeah, I've tried snorting Tylenol, like even though it sucked, like I just sometimes I'd get in this mindset of like I need to snort something. I don't care if it's not coke or something that won't get me high. I just need to snort something.
Yep. You're absolutely right. It's just one of those things that we become addicted to over time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's rough out there though. So I'm hoping that you can continue doing what you're doing and get yourself down off of other things. This way you could be completely clean. And and how long have you been vaping for?
Since I was 15, so like 5 years.
Never cigarettes?
Cigarettes I've been smoking since I was 14. That was the first thing I've ever like done, I guess. So 6 years. Yeah, cigarettes was the first thing. Then vaping, weed, drinking, coke, and then hard stuff.
And do you still smoke cigarettes?
Yeah,
And you just vape because you're inside?
yeah. At home, you can smoke inside and smoke weed inside because like my family's just like a bunch of smokers. But I'm not at home right now, so I can't smoke in the house.
Oh, I see. Like when you're home with your family, you're able to smoke cigarettes inside.
Yeah,
Okay. And I'm guessing that when you were 14, the first cigarette you smoked is someone in your house that you stole from.
yeah, my mom. On my stash one time because over the course of a week, I take one or two out of her pack. And she did a room search on me and she found them behind my books in my little bookshelf. I was like, fuck, I got in so much trouble.
Well, I'm glad that you sat down. I'm glad you're done with the oxys.
Yeah, those are rough.
I didn't know that they're still making them.
Yeah, they're more like harder to. So like I was doing like street oxys, obviously, because prescription ones. Well, this one guy, he would get them prescribed, and he would sell them to like these older people. But like a lot of the time, it was street oxys, which is a lot more dangerous, obviously. But like yeah, they're more like safe and hidden away. So like you can only really get them if you went through like a surgery or like have something actually wrong with you, like you need to go to the hospital for. Well, like yeah, people just make them on the street.
Were they fentanyl?
I've never OD'd off of Fenty, but my best friend has because she had a fentanyl laced oxy
Yeah,
or
that's what I mean.
perk that was laced with fentanyl.
That was what laced with fentanyl.
Yeah, it was a perk, like a Percocet.
Hmm. I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, those are the other things because even though they're still an opiate to get off oxys, I was taking the perks.
Yeah, the opiates are really hard to get off of. So I applaud you for stopping them. What, 2 months ago now?
1 month since
Oh,
de-
what's that?
since detox, so about like a month I've been off of them.
You were getting them in detox,
No, I've been off of them since detox.
but you weren't doing them in detox.
No.
Yeah, so it's two. How long were you in detox for?
Only 5 days.
Oh, I see. It
Yeah,
wasn't like it wasn't like a rehab for 30 days.
yeah, I was supposed to go to rehab, but I didn't want to miss Halloween because nobody wants to spend Halloween in rehab, so I didn't go.
I can see that. We're ready for Halloween.
Me and my best friend were clowns.
Can't miss that.
Huh?
I said you can't miss that.
Yeah, Halloween's my favorite holiday, and I was like, damn, I don't want to be in rehab for Halloween.
Do you think you'll give it a chance in the future?
Oh yeah, I just didn't want to go right now because me and my best friend had plans, and I didn't want to make her sad, and then I'd be sad. But yeah, in like the near future, I'll go.
Is this a friend that you work with?
Yeah,
Like, watch each other's backs?
yeah,
That's good that you have that close friendship because I find it important when it comes to doing what you do. It's dangerous out there. So, and like I said, I'll send you that video of the episode with the girl that, used to run around. It reminds me of, what you're doing, just so you can make sure you don't get yourself into some trouble.
yeah. That would suck. I don't need another charge.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Angel. I appreciate you coming on and talking.
Yeah,
Um,
time.
what's that?
I said, of course, anytime.
And I know it's never easy kind of going through and talking about because you were how old when you first were assaulted?
I started doing drugs 15, 16.
No, I meant like assaulted, like sexually abused.
Oh, I was 7.
Yeah, seven's a young age.
Yeah.
So, have you worked past that by now?
Yeah, that person's not allowed to family dinners anymore. They're not allowed anywhere. If I'm there, they're not allowed there. But like they're not really considered a part of the family anymore anyway, so
Okay, that's good.
yeah.
Was it a one-time thing?
They did it twice when I was 7 and then 12, and then from there it was just people I'd link up with or like at parties I would be assaulted.
So you were 12, it happened with him again?
Yeah.
Did you tell your family after it happened when you were 12?
I didn't tell anyone until I was 16 because my mom asked me one day. She was like, have you ever been sexually assaulted? Because I guess my therapist or somebody said, well, maybe this a part of like my mental problems. They were like, well, it seems like maybe she could have had like sexual traumas. So she asked me when we were in the car ride home, she's like, have you ever been sexually assaulted? And then that was when I told her. So
And
not 4 years after the second time.
it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm glad they believed you.
Yeah, not everyone in the family believed me, which sucks. But at least my mom did.
Yeah. And you said it would happen at parties too?
Yeah.
Oh, when you were in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the downside to drinking in high school is people take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you talking about everything today, Angel, because your story is not an easy one to go through, and you're still young, and you can figure this shit out. You still have time. You just got to be careful because there's fentanyl and cocaine these days.
Yeah.
So you just need to be extra careful whenever you're using, practice harm reduction. Don't use alone, carry Narcan, all that kind of stuff, like you said. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're carrying Narcan on you
No.
because you never know if you might not need it for yourself or somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, have a great night, Angel.
Yes, you as well. Thank you for having me.
See ya.